Rumors are that Diddy was running some kind of Epstein type deal where he was filming everybody, right?
That's the rumors, yeah. I don't know that there's any proof or anything other than that.
You know, when it comes to rewriting history, it's some trying to rewrite history.
Sean Diddy Combs, one of the biggest names in music industry, has been making headlines for all the wrong reasons lately, once known for his business acumen. And as a pioneer in hip-hop, Diddy now faces a wave of serious allegations that could lead to life-changing consequences, so Kay wouldn't believe the extent of it. Rumors are swirling about charges involving exploitation, racketeering, and even more shocking claims involving his longtime mentor Clive Davis. It's almost impossible to believe how deep this goes. And if you thought Diddy's biggest challenges came from rival rappers back in the day, think again.
This is in the matter of Derek Lee Cardello Smith, MDOC number 267009 versus Sean Combs, Sean Puff Daddy Combs, also known as Sean P. Diddy, also known as Diddy, Bad Boy Records label owner.
So how did it get to this point? Let's go back to the beginning and unravel the complex web that's now threatening to bring down two of the most influential figures in music. Diddy, with his larger-than-life persona, has always thrived in the limelight, managing to stay on top of an ever-changing industry, but behind the scenes, a darker narrative has been quietly growing. And now the curtain is being pulled back to reveal secrets that have been hidden for decades.
With no training in music,
None.
did you think you'd be good at this?
I never thought I would have a musical ear. I never thought I'd have a natural.
So it's hard to separate Diddy's rise to fame from the man who stood behind him, guiding his early steps, Clive Davis. If you're familiar with Davis, you know he's a legend in the music business, with a career that spans across decades and includes hits from iconic artists like Whitney Houston, Aretha Franklin, and Alicia Keys. But what most people don't realize is that his connection with Diddy goes much deeper than the professional world. In fact, rumors have long suggested that Davis and Diddy were more than just mentor and protege. They were involved in something far more personal and, according to some, incredibly manipulative. That I have a very special connection with artists with music. I certainly know I had it with him. Diddy was just 23 when he crossed paths with Clive Davis. At that time, he was still working under Andre Harold at Uptown Records. But his dreams were much bigger. He wanted to break out, to revolutionize the music industry. And he was looking for someone who could help him do that. Enter Clive Davis, a man with an eye for talent and a hunger for innovation. Diddy's vision for hip-hop, which he boldly claimed could dominate mainstream radio, caught Davis's attention immediately. The two men formed a bond that would go on to reshape the music landscape.
I have a very special connection with artists, with music. I certainly know I had it with him.
Now here's where it gets interesting. While their professional relationship blossomed, whispers started circulating about what was really going on between Diddy and Clive. Was it all ball business? Some sources suggest otherwise. Many believe that Clive, who had recently gone through a personal journey of self-discovery, was not just mentoring Diddy, but also exerting a very different kind of influence.
Tour. We know some of the big names. I'm just curious if you have any names. You don't seem like somebody.
Well, for number one was Clive Davis.
If you've heard about Clive's later life revelations in his autobiography, you'll know he publicly came out as bisexual and spoke candidly about his intimate experiences with men. In his own words, Clive said you don't have to be just one thing or another, implying that his relationships were based on deep connections regardless of gender. It's no stretch to imagine that his relationship with Diddy may have evolved beyond the boundaries of business. Some insiders have even gone as far as to claim that Clive's financial support of Bad Boy Records, Diddy's label, was not purely driven by business interest. It was a partnership, yes, but with a price, one that Diddy might have paid in ways we can only speculate about.
Self is concerned. I was totally straight until through my second marriage. I've got 4 kids and grandkids.
Sources have hinted at a romantic entanglement between the two that lasted for about 5 years, during which Clive allegedly provided the financial backing that allowed Bad Boy Records to flourish. This period was crucial for Diddy, who had just been let go from Uptown Records and needed someone With both the resources and the clout to help him get back on his feet, was Clyde's interest purely professional, or was there something more at play? But that's not all as Diddy's career skyrocketed. So did the rumors about the lengths he was willing to go to maintain his position of power. Many believe that Diddy didn't just benefit from Clive's mentorship. He might have been manipulated, controlled, and used in ways that we're only beginning to understand. These are all allegations that have become shockingly familiar against Diddy in recent months, as he has faced lawsuit after lawsuit from women and men who have accused him of all manner. And it wasn't just Diddy who was under this kind of pressure. Other artists under Clive's watch have reportedly experienced the same type of power plays, where they were made to feel indebted or beholden to him, unable to break free from his influence. So one of the most disturbing rumors that have emerged recently involves the so-called exit clause and artist contracts, a clause that, if true, reveals a sinister side of the music industry. This clause, buried deep in the legal of artist agreements, supposedly allows record labels to profit massively from an artist passing, often more than they would if the artist continued to produce music. Located her body inside this hotel. So far, police and the coroner are refusing to offer details about what may have caused her tragedy. And here's the kicker: Clive Davis, the man who shaped so many careers, has been linked to the exploitation of this very clause. It's chilling to think about. But the idea is that some of the most iconic artists, like Whitney Houston, may have been worth more to their record labels. After their tragic ends, Whitney Houston, one of Clive's biggest successes, is often at the center of these rumors. Clive was instrumental in her career, guiding her from the start and continuing to work with her even during the darkest periods of her life. But after her shocking passing in 2012, questions began to surface strictly for the purposes of financial gain. For those who have access to her estate, including Clive Davis, most including C.V. Davis, Whitney's return to the stage for her comeback album, I Look to You, was supposed to mark a triumphant resurgence. But it became clear that her voice had suffered significantly due to years of personal struggles. Many wondered why Clive, ever the optimist, seemed so eager to push her back into the spotlight despite her fragile condition. So was it really about helping Whitney gain her footing, or was there something more calculated behind his decision? A vanguard musician, Danda Gallies, didn't mince words when she lashed out at Clive after Whitney's passing. In a fiery post, she accused him of pushing Whitney back into the spotlight too soon, describing him as a colossal pig who cared more about his bottom line than her well-being. I believe that somebody, my niece, just like her mother. She went on to suggest that Whitney was exploited her struggles with addiction turned into a spectacle for profit. Gass wasn't alone in her criticism. Many in the industry began to wonder if Clive had more to gain from Whitney's legacy after her passing than from her continued career. It's hard to ignore the timing of Whitney's passing, just hours before Clive's annual Grammy party at the Beverly Hilton Hotel. Despite the tragedy, Clive went ahead with the event, raising eyebrows across the industry. Part here, and so what the plaintiff in this case did was filed for what we call a temporary restraining order, which would have prevented Diddy, or would prevent him from selling that Los Angeles home. And so we know, or at least we believe, that TRO was granted to enjoin or stop him from selling that home. How could he celebrate when one of his most beloved artists had just been found unresponsive in the same hotel? Clive's tribute to Whitney during the party was emotional, of course, but many felt it was hollow, a gesture designed more to maintain his image than to genuinely mourn her loss. The fact that the music continued that night, while Whitney's body remained just floors away, has left a lasting mark on how people view Clive and his priorities. But it's not just Whitney Houston whose tragic end has been linked to these dark industry practices. So the notorious exit clause has allegedly been used by record labels for years, and Clive is rumored to be one of its biggest proponents. Once they reach a certain level of fame, become valuable assets, and in the event of their passing, their music and memorabilia become even more profitable. Spike in sales that follows an artist's demise can generate millions money that flows straight into the pockets of the record label's producers and executives who hold the rights to their work.